Last night, Jan Blachowicz was robbed. I truly believe it. I've rewatched the fight. He won that. I still think it was 30-27, but I would be willing to accept a 29-28 for Jan. I'm guessing takedowns just don't count anymore. Who was the last one? Islam versus Volk. Islam takedowns count for Jan. They do not. Jan had real close to 8 minutes of control time in a 15-minute fight. He, more or less, was on top doing something. Now, it wasn't the big, finishing blows, but he was progressing towards a finish for most of those 8 minutes. And it's a round and a half. I mean, that's more than half the fight he spent on top of Alex. And yet Alex still won. So maybe you say, okay, well, Alex was just put on a hurting. Was just, landing strike after strike after strike. Alex was not. Alex only threw 138 strikes in 15 minutes. That's all he threw. You know how much Jan threw? 117. So 117 for Jan, 138 for Alex. That's not a big difference. Let's see. Jan landed 82 of 117. Alex landed 112 of 138. So that's about the same proportion of strikes thrown and missed as one another. So in no way was an ass kicking. What I will give him is he landed the calf kicks. Calf kicks do hurt. And Jan didn't react in the slightest to him. I mean, he didn't switch stances. He didn't check blindly. He didn't start getting real finicky with it. The kicks weren't doing anything. Now, I heard Joe Rogan, and I don't know who else was commentating. Who was it, DC? I heard them say, oh, look at that big welt on the side of his leg. Now, I'm watching this fight as they say, look at those kicks, just destroying Jan. They just kept saying it, like willing it into existence. They weren't doing anything. If they were doing something, he would have changed stances. Now, today or after the fight, maybe his leg is on fire. That happens often. When you are in a fight, you don't feel much until the next day, and then you feel everything. I'll bet you his leg hurts today. He was kicked, and he was kicked pretty hard. But in the fight, it was doing next to nothing. I mean, he didn't change stances. He didn't throw without any hesitation. He was still kicking in round 3. Those calf kicks or the leg kicks that Alex was throwing in Jan didn't do much. So outside of the commentators talking about how impressive those kicks were and how they're destroying Jan, they weren't. They were just talking it into existence. Maybe the judges heard them. I don't know. So the strike count was similar. The significant strikes. So I hate the significant strike count unless it argues for me. Then I'll say, oh yeah, because you know what a significant strike is? If you hit him and he falls over, that's a significant strike. But the numbers here, 92-81. That's Alex to Jan. Significant strikes. And the number landed, 70-52. So that's 64% of all of Jan's landed, and 75% of all of Alex's landed. Significant strikes. That's not a big difference. That is not an ass whooping. That is not enough to overcome 8 minutes of top dominance. Takedowns are exhausting. To be taken down, to get them, they can be if you're not great at them. Jan made it look easy to take Alex down. Alex went for a bad guillotine round 1. Like nobody in the world thought. I love Jan. He was sitting there sort of getting choked, his head in the wrong place. And he said, yeah, I'm fine, I know what you want. It's all good. And then he took him down and then ground him and then took his back. Body. I didn't know that big boy could do a body triangle like that. It was a beautiful takedown 3 separate times. And Alex had nothing for it. The reason I have said from the beginning Alex is not made for the UFC is because he has no ground game. None. He does not have jiu-jitsu. He does not have wrestling. Izzy exposed it. Last night, Jan just solidified it. Everybody just take him down. He has no takedown defense. I think it took him a minute to get him to the ground with no defense. And then he did everything wrong for the next 4 minutes in round 1. Round 2, I believe he stuffed 1 or 2, but at that point, Jan was exhausted. Which is, now, I've always said cardio is king, wrestling is second. Cardio is king. Elevation is hard to prepare for. They were in Utah, it was 5,000 feet above sea level, something like that. It's up there. I do think that is why Jan got tired. I've never seen him get tired like that before. I do believe that is why he got tired. But Alex got tired too. Alex got tired half a round later than Jan. So let's go back. They struck similar amount of times. Alex struck more, but it was a similar amount of times. I do believe the bigger shots were landed by Jan, particularly in round 3. Alex did impress me. He switched to throwing that uppercut in round 2. It was an impressive uppercut, and he saw what Jan was doing, and he adapted in the fight. That's hard to do, and he did it. So he impressed me with that. I knew he was a good kickboxer, but that little switch there solidified in my mind. It's like, yeah, he's a good kickboxer. He knows what he's doing. He is good, and he's still. I felt all the bigger shots were being landed by Jan. Not all, most of the bigger shots are being landed by Jan. Now, so you give the slight striking advantage to Alex. The takedowns, they were all Jan. We went over round 1. Round 2, failed once or twice, got it at the end. It was kind of got it at the beginning. It was the explosive takedown, took him down across the cage. That was round 2, yeah. It was the explosive one, took him down the cage, held him down for 2 minutes-ish as Alex was getting back up. Attacked a little bit. Jan could have done a better time keeping him down because Alex was doing nothing right. But, again, Jan was tired. Alex got back up, and then for the last minute and a half was outstriking Jan. That's where I would bet a lot of these significant strikes came from. Although I don't think any of them were truly landing. They were hitting him, and they were putting Jan on his back foot. I keep saying Jan a lot, and I don't mean to. Keep putting him backing up, covering up. He was waiting for the bell to ring. I still gave him round 2. Round 3 now. Round 3, Jan outstruck him. I mean, a lot to a little. I didn't think Alex did anything round 3. He might have landed a kick or two, might have had a cross that came close to landing. But Jan, it was 3 different occasions, landed a 3-piece combo. Boom, 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 uppercut, cross, hook kind of thing. It'd be uppercut, hook, cross, whatever it was. Jan outstruck him, landed the bigger shots. Going into that decision, I was convinced, especially after that takedown, So at the end of the round, he got a takedown. And it was, Jan probably could have just asked, hey, Alex, would you fall over for me now? And Alex, because that's how easy it went for him. It was something else. He fell over, ended on top, and he was not doing nothing. He was doing as much, if not slightly more, than Alex was in that last 30 seconds of being on top. He won that round. He was robbed. I'm very upset at these judges. And I wasn't going to bring this up in this video, but I'm going to talk about it. Split decisions means somebody got it wrong. It does not mean I hear people argue, and this is a personal, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Tell me in the comments if it drives you nuts. It drives me nuts. You get into a fight and you're watching somebody fighting and you say, well, that's definitely going to be a split decision. Split decisions are supposed to be rare. You're not supposed to be banking on a split decision. Split decisions means somebody got it wrong. One of the judges, you don't see a fight from that much of a difference depending on what side of the ring you're on. Every now and then, okay, you don't see punches, you don't score the punches from that angle the other two say, maybe that happens. So you should never be hoping for a split decision. Split decision does not mean it was a close fight. It means one judge got it wrong. Maybe 2 judges got it wrong in last night's experience with Jan Blachowicz. It means the judges got it wrong. That is what a split decision means. I was so upset. I got on TikTok Live last night, and I said, just screaming at the world. I can't, and I have no vested interest in it. I have nothing. I don't care one way or another as to who wins that fight. I picked really well. With the exception of that, I got the entire main card right. With the exception of that one fight. So maybe no, it's not, because I don't really care. He won that fight. Judging needs to get better. Wrestling needs to be scored. Wrestling is more exhausting than getting jabbed in the face once. I would rather be jabbed in the face once than taken down. And judges need to start putting more respect on wrestling. Anyways, love you guys. Tell me in the comments why I'm wrong, because I'm sure a lot of you think I am, according to the internet. Anyways, love you guys. Have a good one.